It has been a particularly deadly week for law enforcement officers. 5 killed in the line of duty, 2 on Thanksgiving Day. We're going to discuss why. Five law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty in the past week, 2 yesterday on Thanksgiving Day. The first happened early in the morning, about 1:30, 1:45 a.m. in Oakland County, Michigan. A sheriff's deputy named Eric Overall, he was 50 years old, a 22-year veteran of the job, by all accounts, an absolutely outstanding guy. I'm going to read you some things people from the community said about him. And this one is particularly heinous. Really, really a nasty incident. There was a car chase going on. The police were chasing a 22-year-old suspect, multiple drug convictions, resisting arrest, obstruction charges, and Deputy Overall was placing down stop sticks on the road, those sticks that deflate tires. He had placed the sticks as the pursuit was getting closer to him, and he walked off the roadway onto the shoulder where he was supposedly safe, right? Well, no. The savage, the killer, had other plans. He aimed his vehicle into Deputy Overall, struck him at a high rate of speed, killing him. How evil can you get on Thanksgiving morning, early Thanksgiving morning? Let me read you some things people said about Deputy Eric Overall. Stevie Worthington, who's now 25, said he was assigned to her high school when she was a student there. She said, quote, "I was a very troubled kid. I got into some bad things. He was kind of like a rock to me. He helped guide me past all that and move me in the right direction." This is hard for me. This is an emotional segment for me because I had friends killed in the line of duty when I was on the job. These are good people who do a very hard job for very little pay. Kai Malkazian, 37, said that Deputy Overall mentored her 12-year-old son, Kylan Harris. Quote, "He was just so nice. He spoke to everyone he came in contact with. When he was riding around the community, he made a point to stop and talk with residents. Just a great guy. He really loved the kids out here." Tragic, absolutely tragic. And the list went on and on and on about what an awesome guy this 22-year law enforcement veteran was. His life mowed down right around retirement. He was just gotten remarried. He should have been retiring, enjoying his pension, loving life. Killed brutally, run over on the side of a roadway. And later that day, just as tragic, a young father of 3, a 15-year veteran of the Texas Department of Public Safety. He was a Texas DPS trooper. That's Texas's state troopers, the Department of Public Safety. A trooper named Damon Allen was brutally shot and killed by a savage named DeBrett Montreal Black. The trooper had pulled him over at about 3:45 p.m. and approached his vehicle. And as he was turning around, the trooper was turning around, Trooper Allen, to walk back to his own vehicle. It appears that Black exited his car and fired at the trooper with a rifle, shot him in the back, killing him. How disgracefully cowardly can you be? Thank God Texas has the death penalty. Now, this savage was caught at about 9 p.m. He was shot by police, bit by a canine. I just wish they had both finished the job. I don't even want to see the people of Texas and Trooper Allen's family have to go through a trial, having to look at this animal. Well, animal is too good a word. This savage in the courtroom and having to relive this incident on Thanksgiving afternoon, 3:45 p.m., when the trooper should have been sitting down having dinner with his wife and children. He was murdered, shot in the back by a savage coward. This is absolutely tragic, but these are just 2 of the 5 this week. Earlier in the week, exactly a week before Thanksgiving Day, we lost Detective Sean Suter in Baltimore. He was part of the Baltimore Police Department, BPD, Baltimore City, not the county, shot and killed in the line of duty. We lost police officer Brian David Shaw of the New Kensington Police Department in Pennsylvania, shot and killed. And we lost Border Patrol agent Rogelio Martinez. This one is particularly bad. He was bludgeoned to death, beaten over the head with rocks by illegal aliens that he was trying to stop from coming in to the United States. You know, those dreamers only coming here for a better life to do the jobs Americans won't do. Now, why is this happening? Why are we seeing these line of duty deaths? ODMP, Officer Down Memorial page, is showing us that we're about in line with line of duty deaths where we were last year. And, the numbers are well over 100. I believe we ended last year at 147. This year, I believe we're at 116 with these deaths. And why is it happening? A lot of people say, well, Obama. Well, not Obama, but Obama's administration, Obama's policies, certainly had a lot to do with the boldness and the brazenness. Now, I'm a guy who likes to deal in facts, stats, and data. So when I look back, and I go back years and years, 10, 15, 20 years, there really isn't that significant a rise in the murders of law enforcement officers, especially in line of duty. But what is different is the boldness, the brazenness in the way that it's happening. The trend used to be a cop kicks in a door, they're serving a high-risk warrant on a homicide suspect, a violent criminal, a really violent drug dealer. There's a gun battle, the cop is killed. But what we've been seeing over the last couple of years, last few years, since Obama emboldened domestic terror groups like Black Lives Matter and now Antifa, we're seeing attacks on police. We're seeing, look at police officer Jesse Hartnett in Philadelphia, the ISIS loyalist, tried to murder him in his police car. Luckily, Jesse, who I've gotten to know, was able to get out of his patrol car with bullets in him and shoot the guy down. But we're seeing these attacks of cops sitting in their cars, cops on car stops turning around and being gunned down with rifles, pointing a vehicle at a police officer who's standing on the shoulder of the road and killing him at 1:30 a.m. on Thanksgiving morning. To me, I do believe this is the result of a pro-thug, anti-cop mentality that wasn't just fostered by, but promoted by Barack Obama and continued by the radicals on the far left like Maxine Waters, like Frederica Wilson down here in Florida, the East Coast, Maxine Waters, like Keith Ellison, like Tom Perez at the DNC, and like the various and sundry other far leftists that think it's cool to hate on the police, to glorify thugs and criminals. No one is a bigger culprit of that than Hollywood, sex offender, pedophile-ridden Hollywood. And as a result, we're seeing these much more proactive attacks on police, not the reactive ones where you're being arrested and you're in a gun battle with the cops. Just as heinous. You should be put down like the rabid animal you are, just as quickly. But it's scary that the criminals are now on offense. Now they're hunting the cops down. They're looking for them in their patrol cars. And I do blame that on progressivism. I do blame that on a permissive attitude towards domestic terror groups. But then again, when you have Maxine Waters, a senior member of the Congressional Black Caucus, its former chair, writing letters as far back as 1998 to Fidel Castro on behalf of cop killer and domestic terrorist, FBI most wanted domestic terrorist Joanne Chesimard, a.k.a. Assata Shakur, what do you expect? She doesn't change her tone. And the Democratic Party and groups like the Congressional Black Caucus look for people with the same ideology as Maxine Waters. They look for people that glorify cop killers and terrorists, and they look for people that demonize the police. And let me tell you something. When you start putting savage murderers over the police, that's when all of society suffers. This is why it is so important for us to become engaged and get rid of these people who would put our public safety beneath the glorification of those who want to kill us. I want to keep bringing you this content, so please help me do that by subscribing to our premium service at www.therebel.media/shows. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. I'll be back with you on Monday.